Greg. You wish for a little more action?
I do wish for more action, Mike.
As you wish, Greg. Let's party! Greg, we're just getting started. Bye, sucker. Ready for a little more?
Now this is nice.
You got 2 wishes left.
Boxing King Media in association with Riyadh season. Tyson Fury. Tyson, we're in Riyadh. Sun's blazing. It's pissing it down back home. How are you getting on in the first few days here?
Lovely place to be in the sunshine, sunbathing on the top of the roof.
You sure are, man. Just tell us initially, how's the hospitality been? You know, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh has definitely looked after you and your team, you know, looking at the surroundings you've been given.
Yeah, absolutely stunning. We're not needing anything. We don't want anything. Everything's been taken care of. So big shout out to Turki Al-Sheikh for looking after us.
I was speaking to your team. They've been exploring the local things that you can do during the Riyadh season. Obviously, it's a big month. It's a big 6-month period where you can do all sorts. Is there anything that you're looking forward to doing once all this is over and done with?
Yeah, going home, back to my wife and kids. I've been away in training camp for 12 weeks by the time this fight comes around, and I'm looking forward to going home. I've had a newborn baby that I've seen about 4 times since he's been born, so I'll be looking forward to going home and spending some time with them. Much needed father time.
Yeah, little Rico will be sat home waiting for you.
Yeah.
Initially, I want to talk to you about the promo of it because that went viral. Your acting skills, I didn't know your acting skills were that good either. So just tell us a little bit about that promo, how that came about.
Absolutely wonderful, you know. They brought in some of the best production team in the world and all the right people, Oscar-winning dress people and everything. So no expenses were spared, and they brought in the best, and you get the results. And you know, to get over 200 million views in the first week was absolutely astronomical figures, and it shows you, doesn't it, if you what you put out there you get back. And they definitely spent a lot of money on the production and they got the results, so fantastic.
Any ambitions in Hollywood from that? You get a taste for it?
No, listen, my only ambition is to box, that's it. Just boxing.
You're fighting Francis Ngannou. In the initial launch press conference, you know, I remember you saying that I'm fat as a pig, grey as a badger. Clearly can tell you've lost a lot of weight. You know, you look in fantastic shape. What we're used to seeing you when you're fighting. So you're taking this seriously, because some people out there saying, "Oh, Tyson's not taking it seriously," but clearly you are.
Why would somebody think I wouldn't take a fight seriously? I'm being paid a lot of money to go out there and put on a show and put on a fight, and I've got a dangerous customer in front of me who's trying to knock my brains out and trying to take what I have. So anybody who would think that someone won't be training properly for a fight of this magnitude is just stupid. Complete, downright stupid.
And you've obviously got a lot to lose, because there's a lot more in the pipeline as well. You know, I just want to talk to you about Ngannou's mindset and the kind of opponent you're facing. You will have read about his backstory. You know, he was eating rats and all that kind of stuff whilst he was living homeless. That's not a guy that's coming to mess about.
No, listen, he's gone from being homeless to world champion in a few years. So he's a dangerous person, you know. At 6'5" and whatever he is, 270, 80 pounds, I don't know what weight he's going to come in. He's been training with the best trainers in America, and he's been doing a lot of fitness stuff. He's been doing a lot of boxing work with good boxers and stuff. He's even got the great Mike Tyson training him as well. So it's I'm expecting a tough challenge, to be fair. Don't forget, I've sparred a lot of MMA fighters in my time and a lot of kickboxers, and none of them has been pushovers ever. So I don't know why people... Do you know, somebody yesterday said to me, "Oh, well, you're fighting in Ngannou, it's a bit like these YouTube boxing, or these people who sit in front of a PlayStation and then go fight." I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about, mate? This man's a killer." I said, "How can you compare him to someone who's playing a computer game all day and then going into a boxing ring?" I said, "I think you forget that this man's a UFC World Heavyweight Champion and an absolute killer." People are stupid, really. if they think they can compare Francis Ngannou to a YouTube boxer, they're absolutely stupid. Absolutely stupid.
A lot was made of the media workout he did a few weeks ago where Mike Tyson, they were doing some pad work, etc. Do you think that was him basically just not wanting to show you anything?
Do you know what? Pads don't hit back. Tom Poe said years ago, pad not hit back. And it's true. I've seen many people flashy on the pads. Pads don't even mean anything. You know, going on a pad has been only since probably about 30 years. Before that, it wasn't even a thing. So I don't take too much into it. He's coming, he's big and strong and game, and he's got a lot to prove. So I take him as 100% serious. And no matter who I would have been fighting next Saturday, I couldn't have trained any harder anyway. He's getting the best peak fitness, Tyson Fury. And I put an extra long camp in because I've had such a long time out again. It's been 10 months of being in the wilderness, not knowing what I was doing and not knowing if I was going to fight again. And then to be in a camp, I needed a long time. So I put my first 12-week camp in years. Because I don't usually train for 12 weeks for a fight. I usually train 5 weeks.
His training setup is hired Mike Tyson, and no doubt Mike Tyson don't come cheap, you know, because we never really seen him train anyone before. One of the things Tyson said in the build-up was he's putting into Francis's mind that he could be facing the greatest heavyweight of all time. I'm sure you saw that quote. What goes through your mind when you're hearing Mike Tyson say that, and maybe the preparation that he's doing as well?
You know, all this people's opinions, it doesn't really mean anything to me. Who's the greatest of all times? Who really cares? Because there's no such thing as the greatest of all time. It's like that pound for pound bullshit. It's not real. It's just someone's opinion. So I don't really care about all that. Who people think's better out of it, him from history, because it's not real. You can't fight somebody from the past, and you can only fight the people who's in front of you today. And if you beat those people, that's it. You're on to the next one. If you don't, go back and rebuild and try again, or if not, retire. So all this like greatest heavyweights of all times and stuff, and greatest fighters and whatever, it's not really something that I've ever been interested in, or nor will I ever be interested in, because it's just someone's opinion.
Any final words to Francis as you head into fight week?
I don't have anything to say to Francis. Francis is a very, very, very blessed person. And he's been blessed abundantly by God, because God says, what does a man have that he has not been given? And the answer to that question is nothing, because everything we have has been given, so he's obviously done something right. And he deserves every penny he gets, and I hope he goes on and makes 10 times what he's getting next time.
Talking of God there, I remember you said in the press conference that God's will this to happen. Some people watch stuff like that, and because you'll know a lot of people in this day and age don't really follow the word of God. Not only did you say it in the press conference, but I showed you this last time we was in Saudi. 6 years ago, you put this video out when you was like 27 stone down and out. I'm just going to show it to you. And put the volume up.
Inshallah, I will return and return to my best. I don't believe on a serious...
I remember that video. I remember it. I was in Spain, training away, 28 stone, fat as a pig, running down the front in a sweatsuit. And I was like, that was the first time in 2 years, over 2 years, where I thought I would come back. So yeah, everything happens for a reason, and I believe everything in this life's given from God. Nothing is earned by man. And people say sometimes, well, how can you say that when you see some of these really bad people who's got everything? And I can't, the thing is that we don't understand God's mind. We can only understand the human version of each other. So we don't understand earthly things most of the time, so we can never talk about heavenly things or understand them. We can talk about them, but we can't understand them.
And just a word on your wife, Paris, with regards to that. Every man needs a strong woman behind him. The role that she's played over the years in, obviously, with your boxing career.
Yeah, listen, I do believe that a settled person, and someone who's in a happy, settled relationship, a married man, will always do better in boxing, because if you're young and you're out there looking for some girls and whatever you're doing, and you're probably not doing your training right, and you're thinking about women when you should be thinking about getting punched in the face. And I think it's been very good for me. I've been married my whole professional career. Before I was a pro, I was married, so it's been very, very beneficial for me. And you know, to have that family, settled family lifestyle keeps me very grounded, and it's bigger than me. You know, if I was just a single person, everything would be about me. But considering I'm not, and I've got 7 kids, father to 7 kids, then it's about the kids, you know. It's putting their future before mine. I've done what I've got to do. Like, my life's complete now. Like, there's nothing more I could want or do. But their lives are just beginning, so I've got to put them in the right direction and steer them away from idiots, and you're only as good as the company you keep, and that's a fact.
It definitely is, and I'm going to highlight a couple of things here. Over the last few years, 6-7 years, when you and David Price were coming through, most people said David Price will be the saviour of British boxing. He was 3-1 underdog against Vladimir Klitschko. He came back from 10 stones over.
Started at 10-1 against Klitschko.
Oh, did you? I didn't know that. They said you wouldn't beat Wilder. In some people's eyes, you did it 3 times. And then recently they said you're ducking Usyk. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're not going to fight him. Every single thing I've pointed out there, you proved it wrong.
It is what it is. Like I said a little bit earlier in this interview, people's opinions mean squat diddly pop to me, because everyone's got their own opinion. If you do something really good in your life, there's always going to be someone who says it's rubbish, because they're just haters and they're just jealous people, you know. But even if all those things were true, even if I was afraid of Klitschko and I was afraid of Usyk and I didn't want to fight whoever, David Price, and I was rubbish, whatever, then what does that even mean? Like, you know, what does it even mean if someone says you're good, bad or indifferent? For someone to say, oh, Tyson can't fight, he's rubbish or whatever, that has little weight with me. Because 1, they're not paying my bills. 2, I don't care about what they think of me. And 3, it's like, well, a lion doesn't care about the opinions of sheep. They're just sheep to me. They don't mean anything. The opinions of the mere mortal man to an absolute eternal king means nothing to me. I don't care what Steve from Stevenage says about me at all. Do you know what I mean? I don't. Bill from Bulby, 6 followers on Instagram, Tyson Fury's a shit boxer. Why does that mean anything to me? Do you know what I mean? Like, if I'd have listened to all the naysayers and all the haters all these years, I wouldn't have even turned pro. And that's a lesson to everybody out there. If you listen to mugs and idiots, yeah, because that's all they are, dream crushers I like to call them, because they just hate on other people who are trying to do something, and they haven't got the guts themselves to do it. So they try and bring somebody else down who is trying to achieve something and who is trying to follow their dreams. So yeah, I'm sure Van Gogh had his haters, but I can't name any of them because none of them were important. And they didn't achieve anything themselves, and all they were good for is slating somebody else. So, you know, the opinions of those people are the opinions of anybody. Even if it's the opinion of the most knowledgeable man in the world, what does that mean to me as a man? As someone who's providing for my family, paying me bills, paying me tax, looking after me kids, looking after me friends, trying to enjoy my life. I don't want to be brought down by someone's negative nature. Like, what does that even mean to anybody? And I think today with the world's social media and all that stuff, it's mainly negative stuff. Like, you see all the social media bullying, and you see all these people hating on others and calling people names, and it even leads to young kids hanging themselves and killing themselves because other people just like to bring others down, or try to. And not everyone's as strong as me. Not everybody's mentally as strong as me. Like, a lot of negative stuff can bring other people down, but it doesn't do shit to me because it's just like water off a duck's back. It doesn't do anything. I'm waterproof. But somebody who's maybe not as mentally strong as me would be upset and hurt by other people's comments. But considering it means nothing to me at all, because when I'm out and about, you know, no one ever comes up to me and says, you know what, Tyson, I think you're a shit boxer, and I think all the achievements you've ever done are no good. Because they never have the guts to do that. But behind the computer screen, anybody can be anybody, and everybody's tough. And that's what it is. And I think people need to grow up and stop with all hating on other people. And if they want to do something themselves, guess what? You got to work hard, dedicate your life to something, and put a minimum of 20 years in to achieve anything. If you don't put a minimum of 20 years into something, you can't achieve nothing, apart from winning the lottery.
The last
That was a speech, wasn't it?
It was.
Very good.
The last thing I want to touch on is you don't really advertise a lot of the good stuff you do, but I spoke to George Capitello, who's been in your camp before, and he told me during COVID his gym was about to shut down because obviously he had no custom coming through, but you saved him and his family's well-being by helping him out financially, and I don't think that's publicly out there, and I just wanted to highlight that.
Do you know what? I'm not even interested because I don't want to do. I'm not a do-gooder.
I know you're not.
I'm not somebody who wants a pat on the back for helping somebody off the floor, or there's someone that had been run over. I get out of the car and help them. Like, why do I need a pat on the back for that? Why? I don't need all that stuff. Like, you don't need to take a picture of me feeding somebody or giving some money to an homeless man. It doesn't really. It's not something that I'm interested in at all. If I do something, I don't do it because I want Nav to know that I've done a good thing. I just do it because at that present moment in my life, there and then, I'm doing something good, and that's it. And that's just the way I am. I do quite a few things, but don't get mentioned. But why should they get mentioned? Because that's my private business, my private life. That's nothing to do with anybody else.
Well, I'm going to mention it because I think you get a lot of shit online. It's only fair that it is mentioned.
Well, there you go. You mentioned that online shit again, don't you?
I want to do
They're
it.
cowards. People online are cowards. If you can't go up to a man and say it to his face, it means you're a little pussy-ass coward. And that's all online is, cowardly little bastards. So if you can sit behind a computer screen and slate somebody 1,000 miles away and you don't know this person, you've never met them, you never even had a conversation with them, you're just a cowardly piece of shit.
Message to all the trolls out there. Arslanbek Makhmudov's fighting on your undercard. If you learnt how to say his name properly, I think you call him Arsehole Makhmudov.
He's still arsehole sniffer Macmacock.
Well, I look forward to you two facing off because he's about your sort of size. So any last words, Tyson? Appreciate your time.
Listen, Arslanbek Makhmudov, when I get through all my fights that I need to, if he's still around, I'll chop him up like a butcher's block. Chop him up like a piece of carcass being chopped up with a big sharp knife on a butcher's block. No match for me. Just because he's lifted some weights, it don't mean a lot to me. Tougher they come, easy they are for me. Absolutely blitz them.
Tyson Fury, Gypsy King, appreciate your time. Good luck fight week.
Good man, thank you.